Hello to you, oh my Brathrandil and Mitrandil. So today is a Thursday, 9th of May. It's very hot in England. So I just came out of the gym, but before going into the gym, I didn't even want to go to the gym because it was such a hot day, and I felt like I was going to become sick. But fortunately, I came to the gym, and the gym was cool inside, and I could do my back workout very well. I finished my back workout. You can see all the videos on my shorts channel, and I did 1 mile of warm-up run before I did my back workout, so I was able to run easily. So nowadays I'm able to run my miles easily, and that's a good news. So what's the good news for today? So the good news for today is I had an interview with Holland and Barrett, the first round, and they asked me some very basic questions like Java questions, which I kind of probably fucked up because they were very easy questions, and I didn't really put my whole energy into it. I just put maybe 50% of my brain into answering those questions because they were very simple questions like what is equals and hash code in Java, and what are streams, what are terminal events, terminal operations in streams, what's a flat map operation in streams, what's the difference between flat map and map. So they went a bit deep into what's equals and hash code, and I couldn't really go into the details about hash code, what's the difference between hash code and equals. So I had a very basic definition and I gave it to them, and I said I have to brush up my basics, and gave that excuse, and they moved on to some other topic. And totally it was 45 minutes of questions about Java. And they also asked me about so some other questions are for example, what is a record, how do you make an object immutable in Java, which again I probably messed up because I said you remove the setters and only provide public getters and make the class final, and I forgot to mention that make the fields private. And apart from that, many other very, very basic and simple questions. I hope so. If I pass this test, I would go to the second round. I don't know, the second round might be something more complicated, maybe problem solving on the screen, maybe doing some coding sessions. So that would be the second part. Okay, they also asked me the question between a set and a list. And the set and the list, and what else did they ask me? They also asked me a little bit about maybe what are the difference between unit tests, and what kind of tests would you consider, unit tests and integration tests, which are more important, what should be the coverage of testing. I said there's no real rule, it's up to you, and there's no real rule that you should be covering this much or that much. And apart from that, so what else did I do today? My trading is not going well at all. My account is now completely fucked up. I'm at $470, and I don't think this trading thing is going to work with the current strategy that I have. I have to learn a new strategy so that I can get quick returns instead of waiting for overnight, because if I leave it overnight I will lose the money. So today I started trading like just one stock and see what happens for a 5-minute time frame. So I tried trading with just one stock instead of 100 stocks. So I didn't lose a lot of money, which was a good news. So in the end I made some profits, lost some. So I lost maybe $5, but through that I could learn how to make small gains like 3 cents, 4 cents profit, which is not really good enough, but at least it shows that the process can work. So I'm still now trying to sort out my trading setup, like how I can use the 5-minute charts instead of the 1-day charts to create these opportunities to make quick bucks on the trading charts. Because the strategy that I learned, it is applicable only to 1-day charts, and that 1-day chart strategy does not work for Savio trade, because in Savio trade your charts you can only trade for between Monday to Friday, and sometimes if you follow the day chart, you can sometimes have to keep the trade on for over the weekend or beyond weekends or overnights. And during overnight sessions, sometimes, for example, today IBM went down really low, and it again crossed my stop loss, and I lost again $100 or something. So that's why now my account is around 19,470. So I have to do something soon, because the limit is around 19,375 or something, and I have to make sure that I don't lose any more money after this. I have to learn a strategy with which I can learn how to get a risk to reward ratio of 1:6 or more than 1:1, maybe 1:2 reward ratio. So this strategy is not going to work, and I'll have to think about new strategies. Yeah, so that's the good news for today. I had an interview. Maybe it will be a success, but usually I don't really feel good about these interviews. I didn't really feel very good about the interview. They had a very strange look on their face when they asked some questions, like as if I had really screwed up. So that's the first part. I could see in their face that they could not follow they didn't really agree with some of my answers. So that's one of the problems with today's interview. So at least now I know that how to prepare for an interview and make it more smoother, and be prepared for an interview, give good answers. My interview skills are really bad. I have to learn to speak well and make it better on interviews, be more confident and speak better. Maybe learn to speak better in interviews. How do you do that? How do you practice talking in interviews? Okay, so that's the interviews part. What else is the good news for today? I have another interview on Monday with Z5 from Cambridge. Another good news is I applied for almost now my total job applications is around 225 or something. So today I applied for almost 20 or 30 jobs in the US on LinkedIn. So they are mostly remote jobs, so even if they require a visa, it doesn't matter, because remote jobs are just you can do it from anywhere. So I applied for almost maybe 20 to 30 jobs in the US, and hopefully it's just an experiment to see if they will reply to me or not. That's one thing. I also applied for some jobs in Indeed.com. So Indeed is a very good site for job applications. Apart from that, what else is the news? Another bad news is that I learned that today one of my cousins had died in India. So he was 48 years old, so he's like 4 years older than me. But I remember meeting him when I was young many times, and uh, I do have very fond memories of him. I always wanted to meet all my cousins, and he was also one of the cousins I really liked. And when I was young, he was very funny guy. He's my mother's brother's son, and he used to be a very funny guy. And but unfortunately, he lived in a small town in India, and from where all my family had originated from. And the problem is that in that town there are not many jobs, and it's our ancestral town, but people started to move out of this place, and it's basically a dead place now probably, and there's not really many jobs around. But even his father, my uncle, died very young because they just wanted to stay in that little town and do odd jobs like waitering and starting some small businesses which never worked out. And my cousin also, he used to be an auto rickshaw driver, or he used to do some odd jobs like working in a hotel or something. And he had some drinking issues probably, and from what I heard, he just came home one day yesterday, and he just collapsed and died of a heart attack or something. And maybe it's the many years of joblessness and depression and loneliness, and maybe being not treated well by anyone in the family. Maybe nobody treats you well in the family. Even if you have a lot of relatives around, your family will not care about you if you are a man and you don't have a job and you don't take care of yourself. And if you end up having bad habits and smoking and drinking and doing stupid stuff. And yeah, he was a bit of a stupid guy. Like, he used to do very silly things when he was young. Yeah, so nobody was really proud of him or anything. So yeah, maybe he was not brought up in he was brought up in maybe impoverished conditions, and he didn't really thrive in that situation. And he grew up to be a weird guy. Not a weird guy, but normal guy. But in India you need to work very hard to survive. And if you don't study well in school, you're basically screwed. I think he didn't finish his bachelor's. He just finished his 12th year. And in India, if you don't even finish your bachelor's, that's almost like a death sentence. So you should learn to do some business at least, even if you don't have a bachelor's degree. So that's very bad news for me today. I felt very bad. And I even looked up his account on Facebook. It's still there. His account is still there on Facebook, and I looked up him. His photo is still there. And he had like 100 friends, or maybe some 100 followers and 100 friends. And yeah, he probably didn't have a good company. He probably had really stupid and shitty friends, maybe other auto rickshaw drivers who told him to drink. And maybe that's the problem with being in India, is like, if you don't study, you end up in the company of really bad people, and all they do is drink. And yeah, very bad behaviors, laziness, and doing nothing, acting like hard work is some kind of a disease or something. Like, they avoid hard work. So that's the problem with but I do feel like I could have helped him. Now he's dead, but there were almost many situations. Like, he once came to my house about 20 years ago, because he couldn't he went to different places asking for money, and he came to our place in a very far away place from where he lived, and he came to my city in Mysore, and he is from Kasargod, and he came 5 hours, almost 7 hours bus journey. He came to my town, and all he wanted to do was ask me for money, and all I did was all I could do was I gave him 70 rupees at the time, which I didn't even have money at the time. I was still studying, and I was like 20 years old, and I gave him 20 maybe 70 rupees, and he was crying or something, pretending to be very poor or something, and then he had maybe learned this technique to go to relatives and ask for money, and that's what they do. They always go to their relatives and ask for money, and maybe in the process also start crying. So, but I do feel like I could have helped him after that one thing. After that incident, I always had that thing in my mind that I should have helped him many years ago, not just with 70 rupees, but I could have helped him. He died at 48, but maybe if I had helped him and improve his life, he could have lived till maybe at least he was 60 or 70 or 80. These are very simple things, and a lot of these things are happening in my town, in Kerala, in Kasargod. The men are dying very young. My uncle, my mother's brother, died at 60, very young, and my uncle's wife's brother, also who lived in the same town, he was jobless, and he died at almost the same age, around 60. Obviously, he also had some drinking problems, but my uncle didn't have any drinking problems. He had some prostate cancer or something like that. So yeah, that's the typical man's disease, which is prostate cancer. So I do feel very bad that all these men are being forgotten in these small towns. Even my other uncle, the father of the guy who died yesterday, my cousin, he was only 55 when he died, and that happened almost 10 years ago. And again, very young, 55 is not a good age for a man to die, and that basically shows that even in my family, the life expectancy is not good. It should have been at least 70. You should at least take care of your health, be more educated, be more proactive in your life, and don't be so depressed. I mean, all these kind of problems like addictions, like they'll just reduce your lifespan. Yeah, so that's very sad. Two of my uncles, and yeah, right now I can already count 4 people have died in the same town in the last 5 years. My relatives, one cousin, 2 uncles, and not 5 years, maybe in the last 10 years, but very young, untimely deaths, around 55 to 60 to 65. So I feel like there should be something to help them to live longer. Maybe they are being forgotten. We should spend more time in giving them some help, or stop them from becoming lonely, visit them once in a while. But unfortunately, it's so difficult. At least you should have some connections with them in WhatsApp or Facebook. In this day and age, you should have connections with all of them. You not treat them like an enemy, and keep in touch with them and have more contact. Because when you ignore someone, it's basically almost like cursing them to death. So never ignore your relatives. Ignoring people is like almost like a disease. It's not a disease, but it's like cursing someone. So do not ignore people. At least the people you know from in your family, do not ignore them. That's the moral of the story. And I mean, my family is very huge. My mother's side she had 9 siblings, so we have a lot of cousins, and even on my father's side, he has a lot of cousins. So do not ignore your family. At least take care of your family first, and forget about people who are not your family, but at least take more care of your family. First take care of yourself, then take care of your family. Then if you have the energy, spend it on people around you who you don't know, but that's still again a waste of time, because they don't need it and you don't need to spend time on them. And again, today in the gym there was a guy who was circling around me almost 3 or 4 times, like a stupid fucking cunt. And that should not be. You should not spend your energy on, give even a little bit of energy to all these people, like your co-workers who are trying to get energy from you for no reason. They don't need your attention. You don't need to give attention to co-workers. Like, there's no contract for you to smile at them or give them any kind of attention. You're just there to to do your job. If someone is asking you more than what you require, what you should be giving, even in your workplace or even in the gym, or just in the maybe a receptionist in the gym, asking for more than what you should, like you are not supposed to give them anything. Don't So that's where you keep your boundaries. You should keep your boundaries with those people, and you should not have boundaries with your family. That's the difference. So do not act like you owe something to people around you in your town, in the gym, at the workplace. You don't need to give them anything. But do not ignore your family, your relatives, your friends. They are more important. The friends you had in your childhood, and not your co-workers. Maybe a co-worker, if they helped you, of course, yeah. If they went beyond their requirement to help you out, that's a good thing. But most of the times they're only going to screw up your life. So always be careful of that. But overall, keep positive. And so overall, it's been a good day. And only thing is that the sad news that I got from back in my hometown. So with that, I will end my talk now. I have an interview on Monday, and I will apply for many more jobs today. And tomorrow again I have to work and finish my work. And I'll be coming to the gym every day, of course. Tomorrow I'll be coming back, do my chest workout, and Saturday I'll be doing my arms. Sunday I'll give it a rest, and Monday again start leg day. So with that, my weight is not very good. My tummy is, my belly is a bit big right now. So I still have a big belly, and I need to fix that. So with that, I will end my talk.